Hello, my friends. Welcome to the kind of the final addition to our Scratch programming here. What I want to do is kind of show you the final little steps that we've done and make sure this game is functional and ready to go before we move into how we start to build our joysticks and things of that nature to make it truly interactive. A couple things. People have asked me, they noticed that in the title of all the previous videos, there's the Makey Makey, and if you don't have a Makey Makey, can you still do this? Absolutely. You're just going to change the coding in terms of the controls of the keyboard, as you're going to see here in just a little bit. So you don't have to have a Makey Makey. We're just trying to add the physical computing aspect to this project to make it more interactive and make it truly feel like an arcade game. So what I want to do here in this video is kind of walk through each sprite, what we have going on, just to make sure there's a good understanding. I'll put a link in the show notes to the code so you have all that good stuff as well. So let's dive into this now. We start with the potato, and we have here now that when the green flag is clicked, it's going to center the potato in the middle, and it's going to move the potato speed to the speed of 3. And then it's waiting. It's not doing anything until we press the start button. In this case, it's going to be the space bar. And then I've just added a little Mario MP3 file that I love where he says, "Here we go," which is one of my favorite little sound bites of all the classic Mario games, especially on the Nintendo 64. And then we have all these things that we've been working on, this forever loop. It's going to move the potato speed, whatever that variable is, starting off with 3, that many steps. And then we have, if it ever hits the edge, it's going to bounce. And then if it touches either player, these paddles here, then it's going to make a sound effect. It's going to pick a random degree to turn, and then move 3 steps to get it away from that paddle. Remember we talked about that glitch? And then we have that rotation style here, this left to right, so the potato doesn't ever go like upside down for the sake of this game. And then down here we just have a series, and I need to find a way to make this smooth so it's not quite so massive. There's got to be a better way in algorithm. We just haven't put it in yet. Every 10 seconds we're using these operator blocks here in the green, and every 10 seconds that the timer itself increases by 10 seconds. So once it gets to the 10-second mark, between 10 and 20, it's going to pick the speed above the potato, and then you can see that it progresses as we go through, and we have it up to 36, which is up to 2 minutes, which between me and my kids, we have not reached that yet. So one thing that I like about this game is, yeah, you can make it competitive between players, but we've actually made it a cooperative where we're trying to work together to see the highest potato speed we can achieve. In this sprite here, this is what triggers, this is what starts. The sprite is just text that we went down to the sprite, and then we painted, and then we just used the text there. We have it centered. When it clicked, it shows it, and then it's waiting for the space bar. I'm gonna have an arcade button that's gonna say start, and when they press that, the words are gonna hide. It's gonna play a quick little sound, and then this sends a broadcast message, just broadcast start. So on our potato then back here, when it receives start, then Mario's gonna make the noise and the potato's gonna start to move. So nothing happens until we hit the space bar and we broadcast that start message. Looking at player 1, it's waiting for start as well. And you can see here that we have the things changed now. This is different. Before we were just having the paddles move with the Y position of the mouse, but we've changed this now to our controls, so we can actually control it with other keys and make it actually 2 players can play. So the way I have my Makey Makey joysticks, which you'll see here in future videos, for player 1, if the left arrow is pressed, it's going to change the Y by 10. And if the right arrow is pressed, it's going to change the Y by a negative 10. So by using the left and right arrows, this guy's actually going to go up and down. And so this is the way we have it wired into the Makey Makey. As a player, the joystick still goes up and down, but we have it wired into the left and right keys of the Makey Makey. You can see that when it's clicked, we have it where it's aligned to this black line here on the game. And then I had this down here before. This is what we were using as we were beta testing. I just kept it down here for you to see that this is what we had, but we're not using it anymore. Player 2 is much the exact same way. We have it going to their position. We're not using this block at all anymore. And then when it receives the start, it's using the up and down, and it's going to move up and down accordingly. Then we have the goals. We added these goals here to the sides for the scoring. When it's clicked, we just have a forever block right here. And what we're doing is we're waiting to see if it's touching the potato. If this potato touches this goal, it's going to broadcast a message called player 2 winner. And then the player 2 goal, the exact same code, but now we're having player 1 winner, because if it hits this goal here, player 1 is won. So then we had to add these two variables down here, player 2 win, player 1 win. And all this is, again, is just a text message. It's just a text that we used. And when we right click on the green, it's hidden. We don't want it to declare a winner yet. But what we have in here, when it receives that broadcast of player 2 winner that we have over here in these goals, all right, it's going to show, it says player 2 winner winner chicken dinner. Probably don't need to switch costume. I'm working on some advanced stuff for the next thing. Plays the sound, which is really hard to hear, and then I just have right now a stop all. Everything just stops. The potato quits moving, everything quits moving, and the game is essentially over. And so we're working through this here, just at this point, is what we've got going on. The exact same thing is over here as well, just for the other player. It's going to announce that, but you can see I eliminated the sound because you can't hear it anyways. And then the last thing, because I put in there winner winner chicken dinner, I thought it'd be fun to put in a chicken leg, because, why not? So if it receives a player 1 winner or player 2 winner, it just centers the chicken right there in the middle of the screen. The last thing we have is a code for our backdrop. So what we have here then is when it receives the start, when we press the button, the space bar, the timer resets to 0, and that's when the timer starts. So that's what picks up the speed. When the green arrow is clicked, I should get this organized, it plays music. And this is just a sound sample that's found in the new Scratch 3.0. And then when I hit the space bar, when that's pressed, it turns the sound off. So what we've got here then, it looks like this. I'll expand it here for you so you can see. Now it's a little hard to play because I got to use the right and left and up and down, but you'll get the gist of it here. So we press the space bar. Oh, I already lost. Oh, I saved it. I got beat. All right, let's try this again here. There we go. So you can see the sound effect. You heard the Mario. It's bouncing back and forth. You can see the speed now has increased. I'm going to keep that right there. Oh, poop. So there you go. Player 2 winner winner chicken dinner. There's our chicken leg. And there it is. And this here we could hide. I could actually hide this if you don't want to show that speed. So what we can do here then is, if you wanted to, I could go here to my variables and I could just click this off and it's not going to show it. I like to show it just because my kids and I like to see what score we can get. It's just, there's not a really good place to put it at this point in time. So that's what we have right now. We have plans to make this 4-player and actually have the Pong on all 4 sides and 4 joysticks, but we're not to that point yet. What we want to do now is get the Makey Makey all wired up and ready to go so we can play and make it interactive. So I just wanted to give one final overview of the code and explain what we've got going on. It's functional, it's playable, it's super fun, Potato Pong at its finest. And we're now going to move into setting up the Makey Makey and the joystick controls to make this awesome.